with Piff the Magic Dragon.
Hello.
Lacking a proper
I'm
introduction.
going to eat my way through this interview so that
What
I
do
can
we
remove
got
the
here?
mask.
Are you a member of the Caesar's Rewards plan?
Yeah. And you see, if I eat, I don't need to wear this for a bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take
You
mine
want to
out
share
too.
some food?
Do you have any snack in there? What do you got?
Turkey and provolone.
Okay.
You want
This
that?
is like let's make a deal. Do I take the
It's
turkey and
sealed.
provolone or what's behind
It's sealed, John.
door number 3? All right, I'll take the turkey and
All
provolone.
right. You
You're
might
a
want to sanitize the outside, but and I'm going to eat this banana nut muffin.
You know, the last time we were on video together, you brought snacks.
Hey,
It was the cupcakes.
always know the rules. It was. I bought you. Did you eat them?
I ate them on the in front of the camera.
That is
I
from
had
a
to
shop
eat
called
them
the
then.
Cupcakery, and it's delicious.
They were great. Cupcakery. There's a plug for you. But we were at Melody's house, and
We were at Melody Sweet's house, and I walked on and saw a lot of strange things and left.
yeah. You were there for a while, though.
What
You
was
hung in there
going
for-
on that evening?
That evening was a return to
Hang on, the dog's on vibrate.
a reunion of a reunion.
This is what chihuahuas do. They just shake for no reason.
Maybe we should. Is you need a blanket or something?
You
or-
want to come? He probably wants to sit on my lap. There's
Okay.
food.
Okay. Watch out! You dropped your mask. Now you can't wear the mask.
No, I'm still eating. I'm fine.
She.
I'm still eating. Okay, now we're
He's
good. There
better
we go.
now. No,
He's
he has to
better.
have some muffin too. Does he have a mask?
He doesn't have a mask. No,
Doesn't?
I don't think. I think cats can catch COVID, not dogs.
I haven't caught COVID. Oh, you're talking about felines.
Correct. I was. Little did I suspect.
When you're back,
But-
I want to be called up on stage
Let's
on
do
the
it.
29th. 29th.
You got to come and be a guest, Johnny.
I want to. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Well, first, you're coming back the 29th. We should let people know that. That's
Yeah.
the time demarcation for the return of the show, and it's
October
too soon.
20th. Piff the Magic Dragon. Too soon?
Too soon? Question mark.
Yes.
Not,
You got it. You
not
got to
declarative.
Too soon? Yeah. You
Okay.
got to get that into the into your enunciation.
Okay, let me try this. Piff the Magic Dragon. Too soon. No,
No,
that's not right.
No, that's not right.
Piff.
It's
Too soon.
there. You go.
Like
It's the only show title with a line reading. You know,
That's gonna be.
I'll be
you
at
have to pass
receptions.
the line reading.
I'll be at reception and box offices all over town, approving or disapproving the way they say
Yeah,
the
you
show
got
title.
You have to have this be the test for people walking into.
Yeah,
the,
once more with
the-
feeling. This time, mean it. I need you to really mean it, Johnny.
Piff, the Magic.
You don't need to put a line reading there. I
Dragon.
don't know why you're spacing that bit out. Piff the Magic
I'm
Dragon.
trying to get into the show.
Oh, you're trying to get into
Piff
it.
the Magic Dragon. Too soon?
Yes. Oh, give that man a
I'm in the show.
ham and provolone sandwich. Too late.
You
I
know, I
did.
put mince in before this, so now I gotta wait for the mince. But I am technically eating, so I can have.
Hey, you
the-
don't want to mint ham and mint sandwich.
Mm-mm.
That is
never,
not good.
Never. So the 29th, you're coming back. We're looking forward to this. Seriously, it's been a long.
It's been a
haul.
while, hasn't
Mhm.
it?
Yeah.
How's the lockdown been for you, Johnny?
Well, we've done like four of these.
We have done 4 of these.
Yeah, we've done a
That's
couple of these.
true.
The lockdown for me has been frustrating.
Yeah.
It's been a grind. Yeah.
It's been very difficult.
But I'm on the other side. I'm on the receiving end of a lot of the obviously the questions about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you find that you're having, as I'm sure you can attest, the same type of conversation every day. You know, the same topic of conversation all the time every day is when is this going to end and how are we going
Right.
back to normal? Some version of that. But it's interesting to see that things reopen and how we're going to be reopening. You know, and you're right at the front of that.
I think it's been the thing that I found is that people are just out of general politeness. Everyone's always like, "Oh, how you doing?" And no one's okay. There's no one who's like, "Yeah, I'm great." Everyone's like, "Oh, not good, not good."
I was better.
That's how I do. Not good.
And on this, it's comparatively. I use the word comparatively a lot. Comparatively, I'm doing okay.
Right.
Like compared to what it was like last week, not at the beginning of the year or anything. You know, it's a different standard of being okay, I think. You know?
I think so. I think it's definitely maybe the defining event of my life so
would
far.
have to be, I think. right?
It's been crazy, and it's been a time that has had some real some really great moments and some really fun times, but it's been really hard. It's been like some of the most difficult periods of my life as well, and I know that's the same for Jade and same for everyone who we work with. And so it's definitely a bittersweet period now, coming back to Vegas, doing the show, moving into the big showroom,
where we are now,
which we've been talking about doing for a couple of years now.
Really, yeah. I was wondering if this wasn't, this was forced by the protocols, but you've talked about putting
right.
this show in here.
Well, we've been at capacity over at the showroom with 3 names. We've been there for. We've been at capacity for the last 2 years.
Bugsy's Cabaret.
Bugsy's Cabaret, the Piff the Magic Dragon Theatre,
Piff the Magic Dragon Theatre
at
Bugsy's Cabaret
Showroom,
and ex-burlesque
formerly known as the Pepsi vending machine,
and
ballroom.
the Second City
and the second
I think was
Second City bowling alley at one point. Yes,
and the Vinny Favorito Dome
and the Vinny Favorito debt collection facility. Yeah. That was one of the more memorable periods. Yeah. So we spent the last 2 years kind of like, I mean, we were doing extra shows in there, we were doing like 5 p.m. shows in there just because we were selling, 2-3 out a day at some points, and there were various talks about what we were going to do next, and so when the shutdown happened, I thought, well, what if we just work on what would be the big Piff show? Because when we tour, we play theaters,
performing
1,000
arts
seats,
centers.
2,000 seats,
right,
all over the place. So we tour a big show, and we do a big show there. So I was like, well, what would my big Vegas show look like? And maybe I just spend 6 months working on that. And Gabriel, who you've seen trotting around here, has been every day working in the Piff shop, building these new pieces and these big tricks, and I'm just surprised that it kind of worked out as I thought it might. Rarely does it do that,
Well, you've done as well as you could possibly do in the shutdown, keeping your act out there. I know that you've investigated a lot of different avenues. What's it going to be? First of all, what's your nightly schedule here? You're going 7:30 p.m.?
No, we're doing Thursday through Sundays. So 7:30 p.m.
Thursdays through Sundays.
Yeah, and then when RuPaul comes back, I believe we'll be 7 p.m. But that's not till next year anyway. So.
But this is it's a limited. It's designed as a limited run.
That's also true, because who knows what happens. Yeah, it's designed as a limited run because the news is changing so quickly every day. We are making sure that, first of all, we're staying safe.
Right.
And the audience is safe. First of all, the audience is safe. Believe me, I've been in those meetings. I'm like, what about me? They're like, yeah, we'll get to you, Piff. Let's look after the people who count. So, first of all, the audience will be safe.
Piff?
Second of all, Piff the Magic Dragon. Second of all, the dog. Actually, there's a pecking order that
the longer you think this through, the lower you are on the list of priorities.
So we're doing that, and we will take baby steps to opening this, and hopefully we are able to open the show and perform it, and so then we set ourselves up for next year, really.
So is this what is the room going to be like? What is it going to be seated at?
Originally this seats 750 people, and with the changes, 7. We've got 7 people in it's me performing for 7 people. No more than 50 feet
but dogs
apart.
don't count against that number.
It's
you
actually
have 200
great.
dogs, but 7 humans.
If you look around, the show's one of the showroom is kind of classic Vegas. It's got all these booths in it. So basically we seat the booths, and it works out.
That's where it starts. For people who aren't familiar with the room, they've had seated proper cabaret style tables out in the front. Those are going to be taken out, right?
I think so, that's like within the 25 feet. So that's like a moat, between me and the audience. So it's very fitting with what I do.
Yeah, we'll have to get a water effect in here.
I think Well, I think we get up to 250 people. We can just about, I think 246 people.
Okay. And what were you over at the Piff
200
Theater?
at the Diet Pepsi showroom,
the Holy Dome.
Yeah.
You've got a business model here that is sort of favorable to you as you reopen, at
Yeah.
least for the live show.
Well, that's it. As the capacity increases, we will, I'm sure, increase our capacity too.
Yeah, we had this conversation when I was writing about this, and about how your own protocols are going to work as the front man of the act. Are you going to have to wear a mask? Are you going to have is Jade going to have to wear a mask?
Right. Well, again,
Mr.
it
Piffles?
literally changes daily. Right now, like today, if I'm 25 feet from people, I don't have to wear a mask. And then if I move, if any of that changes, I wear a mask. And
Are you still going to be able to bring audience members up on stage?
yeah, as long as they wear a mask and stand 6 feet away. But
Okay.
whatever it is, we will work with whatever we are told.
I've been trying to figure this out through just attending shows. Like I've seen stand-up comedy, and the comics don't. That looks delicious.
It's a honey bun,
Mm-hmm.
a jumbo honey bun.
It's a honey bun.
Yeah.
But like stand-up comedians don't have to wear masks when they're doing their routines. So I would think in your hands,
Yeah,
you wouldn't
I mean,
have
it really
to.
changes every day, doesn't it? I don't know whether like the conversations I'm a part of, they've changed daily. So,
Mhm.
like I say, more smarter people than I are looking after that part.
What I'll let you get through that bite. Is the show itself going to change structurally? Are you going to bring any different acts in? Is there going to
Yeah.
be a different rollout of what you've done? How is it going to be altered in here?
Well, there's a lot of new material, which some of which comes from our tour shows, some of which we've just been able to develop in the last 6 months. Some of it comes from our virtual show, because we've been doing sold-out shows across the world.
It's
without
sold out
even-
now.
It's sold, yeah, this
I
weekend.
just checked yeah.
sold out this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Tell us about for people who aren't familiar with that format, how you're bring the show to.
Well,
the
I've seen
online
there are two
platform.
ways to do that format. One is sit in front of your webcam and tell people to count cards and then put them in different, deal out 14 cards and then rearrange them and put them in 4 piles. But what we
The
did is
Facebook Live
we
version.
yeah, we bulldozed our garage and we turned it into a television studio. So we basically do an interactive television studio live from the Piff The Magic Dragon television studios, formerly known as my single car garage. And it's an hour-long show that people can interact with. We made this. It's a suit of armor with a face of an iPad, so people can through a Zoom breakout room. They can be in the studio with us,
Right.
And it's just like you're in the.
You're directly interacting with the people who have paid to see
Literally,
this.
like you're
Yeah.
FaceTiming,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
suddenly they can FaceTime the audience and they can see the audience. So, we spent a long time. We spent like 4 months working on that show every day. We did this whole Piff TV thing for 2 months just
Yeah.
to learn how to use a TV studio.
Right. Mm-hmm. I think
So
that's what I was on, the Piff TV,
yeah, you were
Yeah.
on Piff
Mhm.
TV.
early on. Yeah.
So we put a lot of time and money into making this a really, really fun, interactive show because it's a great way. This afternoon I'll be in Pacific time, but tomorrow I'm doing a 4 p.m. show on the East Coast
Mm-hmm. And these are places
in my garage.
And these are places that are you've been trying to match the cities that are where they're available, where you would be performing normally, right? The dates
Yeah.
that were postponed.
We did at the beginning. We did a bunch with theaters, like in Chicago or wherever, and we would do a show designed for the Chicago area.
Mhm. Right.
And I do just like normally when I turn up in a city, I do a bunch of jokes about being in Chicago and Illuminatis with the most delicious pizza on earth.
And it goes over well online.
Yeah, they love it. Yeah. Yeah. So, that will continue for at least the next year, I think.
Okay, I was going to ask how long, because you can make money there too. Piff per view, pay-per-view.
Paper
on
Piff.
there.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
Paperpiff.com. Onlydragons.com. Onlypiffles.com. If that's your thing, no problem.
Even accidentally, you find these links.
Yeah.
But so you're going to try to maintain your live performances concurrently with the online pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, we can do. This is how crazy it is. We can do an 11 a.m. in the UK,
Yes.
a 4 p.m. on the East Coast,
Right.
and then an actual live show at 7:30 p.m. in Las Vegas. I was on a plane. I was like, I've been Delta Diamond for the last 5 years. I don't think I need to get on a plane again.
That's like the old days when you do 3 shows a night, but you're doing them in
Yeah.
different time zones, different
the other thing is-
continents in some cases.
The other thing is that I love living in Vegas, but we've done 400 shows a year for the past 4 years. We've toured every single weekend. I forgot I even had a house here.
Yeah.
So the last 7 months has been like me going, oh, wait a minute. I remember why I moved to Vegas, because I love it.
Uh-huh.
I love living here. I love being part of the city, and I'm cold-blooded. It's, perfect weather for a dragon.
Right. You keep forgetting you're a dragon. Is it as fulfilling to be performing online as it is in front of an audience for you?
No. But it wasn't. For the first 3 months, it was a nightmare. What we would be doing the shows, and people would, they'd leave their microphones on, and like the cat would get off the sofa, so they'd be like, "Get down, Sprinkles, get down." In the middle of my show, I'd be talking, somebody like, "Get down, Sprinkles." Oh God! And nothing was making me more depressed than doing the shows through Zoom. And then, like I say, we spent a lot of time, a lot of energy doing it, and we found a way to make it like an interactive TV show, and it went away from being like a Zoom
Right.
meeting.
For the production value.
Yeah. And now it's me, Jade, Francis, aka Brett Alters,
Brett,
who was in and will be in
Opium.
Opium.
Great. He's great.
He's great.
He really is. He's very
Yeah.
unsung.
And
Yeah,
then either
Brett's a great
Alex or
performer.
Jacob operates the show as well. So we have like this crew, and it's really good fun. Like we get the people in. We got like we in the end we worked at this way to make an audience laugh track, but to make it organic so that it Alex can have fun with it. So if I say a joke that doesn't work. And you can always see, because we can see the Zoom people, so we can see when people are laughing or not. So if he sees that they're not laughing, he will give me crickets. If he sees something goes over, he will boo me.
You could track crickets in here.
We could absolutely. So it's been a really great way to innovate and to experiment, and now I love doing the show. I really love it.
In some venues,
You saw it the other day, right?
yes,
So-
yeah. I was it was weird because I was working, but I was on with
you're
you
working
too.
on it. Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
great, isn't it? You can go
But it
to a
was-
show without.
Yeah, you do that here and they get mad at you. But
Yeah, they do. They do.
Flip
You have
your
to wear
laptop
pants here.
The-
It's a
the
nightmare.
pants rule. Don't get me started on the pants rule.
Oh my
It's as
God.
bad as a mess.
But I think now I found my manager and people who are watching are like, God, you guys are having a really great time now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's infectious. And I think at the beginning everyone was like, oh, this is the future. This is a bit depressing. And now what we're seeing is people are going, oh my God, I had a really great time for an hour, and it's really surprising. And I don't know how many virtual shows you've been watching, but a lot of them are terrible.
Right.
A lot of them make you go,
Especially
God,
early
maybe.
in shutdown, it was.
Yeah,
there-
it was a dark
it's
period
not
for show business.
It's not for. It's
No.
not for everybody. But what I have found is that it's nature finds a way. That's the line I've been using.
Yeah.
Life finds a way, and I've seen like for example this week I was over at the Space, and they were doing a live stream of it was a Greek artist who guitarist who's very good had a band, and it was coming off great in the room. There were about 20 people in the room. It was live streaming it, and what I've seen in these other examples of live streaming is they were trying to say, I can feel you out there online, are you applauding? Or they were asking for some sort of response, or are you having fun? They miss, that's the element that's missing, is that response, like really having a response.
Also, when you're in a space, you can, if somebody's on their phone, you can say, hey, get off your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I've had people driving their kids to soccer practice. I'm like, what are you doing?
They're carrying you around, with the laptop.
People in the hot tub?
Or the phone, yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be in your hot tub. Get me out of the hot tub. That's the thing you can't control on a virtual show. And now we found a way to make it work. But at the beginning, it was tough.
Yeah, it's a really different dimension. Would you consider doing a live variation of your show from here on that platform, where you'd have the actual stage apparatus?
No, what we found now is that it's become its own thing. So the two are kind of very complementary. If you watch the virtual show, you'll want to see the live show. And if you see the live show, you'll want to watch the virtual show too, because the material is different and the way that the performance interaction is almost a different medium.
Yeah.
So I think the two, I would like to keep the two separate and complementary.
There's different schools of thought on that one too, because when shows come back, a lot of them are thinking we're going to do a live stream of the production for
I think
an
the
audience
problem with the
outside
live
of
stream
Las
stuff
Vegas.
is the audience become very passive. You know, at the beginning we did it like a 3-camera shoot, like
Right.
you know, so it would be like this would be our wide, and the audience would be very far away. Whereas very soon we changed it to 1 camera. And it was like I was like right in the camera, you know, like literally shouting at them like you would at FaceTime.
Yeah.
And making all the material play in that space, and that's been the key to making it feel like, oh, this is like you know, this is like a big FaceTime group with all my friends, rather
It's a little
than
close.
rather than watching a Netflix show on your phone while you're on the toilet. Because people do that, you know.
I know.
People spend
I know.
years of their life making a movie only for somebody to watch it
Yeah.
on the toilet.
Yeah, just to be or just walk around the house. I
Oh.
keep saying that. You know, I'm walking around and making
Yeah.
coffee.
Did you like what was that movie, the Scorsese thing that was like 14 days long?
It was Irishman.
Yeah. Do you like The Irishman? Yeah, it was good, but then I dropped it in the bath and never saw it again. And Scorsese's like, "Oh, great! I'm glad we
All
spent
that
$100
technology.
million
I bet-
de-aging De Niro for you."
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked pretty soapy. Was that just me?
And the screen is that big
Oh
too.
my God.
That's another thing they don't
What a
count
nightmare.
on. I know it. Or to be to walk around. You know, walking. I play that movie on my bike when I was doing bike rides. I'd have The Irishman on.
Yeah.
Be watching it while he was riding around town. I don't think this is exactly the format they were thinking of
Not
when they
quite
produced
what
this.
Martin was hoping.
Not really, but one day when I do interview him, I'll ask him if he's accounted for that, you know, in his filmmaking. What else? I've always wondered about you. What do you consider your big break in your career? Here you are. We
That's a
know
good
you
question.
from here. What was the moment when you went from being, you know, without the bit, without the gimmick and all that stuff, and to
Okay, so yeah, there was so I guess there were two key periods. One was when I found like the character and the act, and that happened because I was a close-up magician in London. So at bars and restaurants and corporate dinners and private events, I would interrupt people for a living, and I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to see some magic?" And they'd be like, actually, I would say, "Have you seen The Magician?" And they would be like, "No." And I'd be like, "Ta-da, it's me." So, and I was always like sarcastic. So when you're playing a comedy club, if you don't make half the room laugh, 50 people laughing is still a lot of people laughing. But when you're doing a table of 7, if half the table don't laugh, that's very awkward. So I was like splitting the table, not even the room. and people I'm not really a front facing kind of guy. You know, I'm much more of an acquired taste.
little demure, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
So I found that whole job was based on having an easygoing demeanor, and therefore I was getting fired from almost everywhere. I was down to my last one gig, and I was like, this is not going to work out. And at the same time, I went to a party, and it was a costume party, and I said to my sister, "Do you have anything I can wear?" And she said, "Yeah, I got a dragon outfit under my bed." Now, I asked no further questions, and I would not like to go into that right now either. So I said, fine.
Who doesn't have
a dragon
I
costume
mean,
on
really.
their bed? So I go to the party. No one else was in costume. It was just me. It's like that scene from Bridget Jones. I was like, oh, God. So my
And your
friend said,
sister's dragon outfit.
you know, what are you supposed to be? And I'm like, I'm a dragon. She's like, you could be Puff the Magic Dragon. I was like, wait. I could be Piff the Magic
Dun, dun,
Dragon.
dun.
You might have heard of my older brother, Steve. And I came up with that line, and I was like, that's really funny. And it wasn't until like 6 months later that I was like, got the guts to try it. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh, this is what I do now. because it was like the perfect way to make this socially acceptable.
And I love the pause you use in this when you usually deliver that line. You know, my older brother, Steve.
Sometimes it's days. Sometimes it's entire days go by.
Change the name too. Have you used a different name?
Yes, I used one syllable names. That's the key.
Okay.
But yeah, and then so I started doing it, and because I had kind of an act, you know, I had the material, just not the way to do it. It was a pretty quick evolution, and so within about a year, it really took off because people were like, "Oh, before you were just a douchebag, but now you're a douchebag in a dragon outfit. This is hilarious." So it really just like everyone who fired me rehired me.
We could have some club hosts who could use some dragon outfits when we
reopen
in the city.
There was a restaurant that I was working in called Circus, and I was supposed to be like I was supposed to do magic at this brunch thing they had, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this anymore." And my friend said, "Just do it in the dragon outfit." And she said, "You know, you have to do the gig anyway because you said yes, so you might as well we don't care." So I did it, and it was this huge hit. And we did brunch time at Epiphanies for like 6 months. And that was the start of the show we did at the Cosmo at midnight. Breakfast at Epiphanies. Because that was midnight, which is technically the earliest time you can have breakfast. It's 1 minute after midnight.
At Cosmopolitan it is, yeah.
Well, in the world. I mean, it's very difficult to get earlier than midnight.
But yeah, that was an offshoot to Vegas Nocturne, where we first saw you in Las Vegas. Was there?
So I did this, and it became really successful. And then the big break was being on Penn and Teller Flawless, which was in 2011, and it went viral on YouTube, which things didn't really do much then. Like that was like 1 million hits was like a big deal.
Yeah.
Back then. So it got me work all over the world. It got me known by people all over the world. And at the time when I did it, the whole idea was to fool Penn and Teller. And I didn't fool Penn and Teller.
You did not.
And which they still say that I did fool them.
There's been a vacillating about what happened. We
still argue about whether I fooled them. I say I didn't, and they now say that I did. And
it used to be the other way around, didn't it? That you said you did fool them, and they said you didn't? No, it's always been that they said you fooled them.
It was always that way. And
I'd go with that.
But regardless, like, you should have said something earlier, because I could have done with that trophy back then.
The FU trophy that they give out.
Yeah. So, and I met them, and they sort of adopted me. And that clip became a calling card, and that was actually the clip that they sent to the casting director sent to Spiegelworld.
Yeah.
When they were looking for acts for Vegas Nocturne, and that was then Ross flew over to Australia and saw my show there when I was on tour. I
remember hearing when they announced Nocturne and you were in the show that the Penn and Teller and that camp and Emily Gillette said to watch for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that you were watch for the dragon character in that show because he's going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, and then they had this. I can't even remember how this happened, but they had this third act. They had 3 shows in Vegas Nocturne.
Cantos.
3 cantos.
Cantos. We don't know what a canto is.
We never knew. We never found out.
6 years later.
It closed too soon. Vegas Nocturne. Too soon. So we never found out. But they had this third show. For whatever reason, I decided that I didn't want to be in this third show. And I decided that I wanted to do my own hour-long show. I think it was because I'd signed a 10-year contract and I couldn't imagine just doing 2 10-minute acts for the next 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
So I said, give me a blank canvas space that I can do anything I want with. And they said, okay, you can do a midnight show in the small study.
Yeah.
And we called that Breakfast at Epiphanies. And I would just go in there and shout at people. And these were not ticket buyers. These were innocent stand-up
dinner
bystanders
who got lost on their way out of the restaurant.
Just got caught up in the carnage. They really did. They got lost. They went. They went out the wrong door.
That door is unmarked. You go right in.
I'd be like, lock that.
You're in the portal of entertainment with a costume dragon.
This guy said to me once. He said, "God, when you got up, because I would stand on the bar to do the whole show." And I was like wired directly into the sound system, so I'd take out the entire bar, you know, like all the lights would focus on me. You couldn't sit there and have a drink or a nice meal while I was on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me berating innocence. And this guy said, God, when you got up in that bar, I hated you. And now it's an hour later and I love you. And I was like, and that was kind of the journey that it was like Stockholm Syndrome. It really was.
It took only an hour.
It
That's
took
what's
only an
impressive
hour to
about
win them
it.
round.
Takes most hostage situations weeks to get to the Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah.
And then they left of their own, I kicked them out. It was kind of, they were like, we don't want to leave. I'm like, too bad, I'm going home.
And how did you wind up through the whole the Vegas Nocturne experience with the Stabile Productions group?
Well, then I spent a year out of work, trying to get my own show off the ground, and no one knew who I was. You know, nobody in the public was gonna buy tickets. So I was like, okay, well, I need to change something. So I went on America's Got Talent in January of 2015.
Right.
And then the first couple of rounds, you do basically, like, I know how well it was going, but it's not aired. So it doesn't get aired till like July. And I was like, and by that point, I'd like, you know, had all this stuff like eating a banana and all, you know, like getting the golden buzzer from Neil Patrick Harris and all this crazy stuff. So I knew it was like gonna be great when it aired. And then I think in March or February, the Stabiles wanted to do a show called X Comedy, and they'd seen me at Rose Rabbit Live, Vegas Nocturne, and they said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing the show?" And I was like, "I'd love to. I think it's going to be great, perfect timing because I think we started the show in March or maybe April."
X Comedy.
X Comedy.
It was a lineup of 3.
Yeah,
acts,
it was me,
right?
John Bazaar, Nancy Ryan,
Nancy. Dennis Blair. Yes.
Joe. What was Joe's second name? Trammell. Joe Trammell
was in that. Also.
Yeah. So we started that, and I think in June, people start, or whenever they aired it, people started like going, "Oh, Piff the Magic Dragons." Yeah. And I was like, "Wait a minute, this is like, people are starting to come." So I said to Angela, and Matt, "Hey, what about if we do? I'm doing clubs, I'm doing theaters now. I can't do Thursday through Sunday, which is when the days were." I said, "What about if we did the Piff show Monday through Wednesday, and then you guys do X Comedy while I'm off touring?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll give it a go." And we started it, and it just grew and grew and grew. We went to 5 nights, and then last year we did 270 shows, I think, in that room.
I remember the question was, and I was wondering this when I saw you in X Comedy in the lineup of other, you know, the time allotment was similar for every act. Was if you could do it whole show as Piff,
right?
You know, because I hadn't seen Piff.
Well, that was the thing.
But if you had enough material to cover,
yeah,
an
I mean
hour
that was
or
like one of
it
the benefits of coming up in the UK and then moving here, was that I'd done like 5 or 6 different hour-long shows. You know, I'd done them in the Edinburgh Festival. I toured them all over the UK. I toured them all over Australia. So I was able to come with an hour, 75 minutes of material that I was able to pick kind of my favorites from all of those different years. So, whereas I've been, you know, when I was on Penn and Teller in 2011, it was like, oh, now this has got to be good for an hour.
Yeah.
And it took a while. Whereas AGT, I felt like that exposure, which was huge, I was like ready for the exposure, and it kind of it was the right time for that.
You still have a very healthy and positive relationship with the AGT production. And
yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah, you can tell it's mutual.
There was a moment. I tell you what happened. There was at the beginning we didn't trust each other.
Right.
For the first episode and the second one with Neil with that golden buzzer thing, we were definitely like not really, a bit suspicious. Because I thought, oh, they're gonna, because you could edit my act to make me look stupid, and they thought, and they were
I won't
like,
say it, but yeah, it'd be pretty easy.
It'd be
actually.
pretty easy, right? I walk on four buzzers. I've done all the work for you.
You've
I've done
pretty
the heavy
much
lifting.
set it up.
You know,
if it weren't for Neil Patrick Harris, I think who has that kind of sense of humor.
Well,
anyway.
it's also
He's got
like
a
the
circus
first time I
background.
walked on, Howard Stern just shook his head. He was like, oh, my God. And as soon as I get into the joke, he's like perks up and he's like laughing. And by the end of it, he's like, oh, my God, this guy's a phenomenal talent. And that was what I've been used. That's what I know the journey is for the audience. And I kind of like purposefully have built it like that. So when I walk on, people abandon hope. So I was like, okay, this is going to be great if they, if they make it great, and I'm at their mercy, and on their part they were like, well, how much is this funny? Has he got enough material? Is he going to be able to do all of the episodes?
Right. Yeah.
So there was this moment when they said to me, hey, tomorrow, can you come to the shoot and can you bring some clothes because we want to get like you in the dragon outfit and out of the dragon outfit in rehearsals. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I said, I only want to be in the dragon outfit. And they were like, well, we think that you need to have stuff outside the dragon outfit where you say, hey, this is my story, and
But the story's going to be in the dragon outfit.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And they said, well, we really want you to bring clothes. And I said, well, I'm really not going to do that. And they said, turn up tomorrow with your clothes. And I was like, okay. So I turned up tomorrow in the dragon outfit. And they were like, oh, God. And they said, what are you wearing underneath? And I said, nothing. And they were like, oh, God, here we go. And then I went there, and that was when we did the Neil Patrick Harris Day, when I got the golden buzzer. And I think they were like telling me how they were going to edit the first one. And I was like, God, that sounds really funny. And I was like, oh, these guys really know what they're doing. I realized that. And they'd always known what they were doing. It's just I realized that I was in safe hands. And they also realized that, I had a good angle on a new way to do that show. Because sort of nobody had really been on those shows and been like, oh, I don't really care. And my whole goal was to get to the end. My whole goal was to get to the finals and shoot Piffles out of a cannon. And I said this from day one to them. And they were like, no, surely you're going to want to win this. And I'm like, no, I really want to get that loser of America's Got Talent billboard.
Except for you says at the end, well, we're here to win it.
Right.
Of all the various types of acts we've had from Las Vegas and anywhere else are like, really once you audition, you get to the TV round, you really do, it clicks in.
Yeah.
But you never wanted to win it.
No, I just seen this billboard Terry Fator had, which was Terry Fator, the winner of America's Got Talent.
Yep.
And I was like, God, wouldn't it be funny to have Piff the Magic Dragon, the loser of America's Got Talent? And I was like, I'm going to go on America's Got Talent to get that billboard. So literally, as soon as we got the show, I was like, hey, let's make the billboard now. And we did. We popped it up.
And the winner of America's Got Talent, ironically, was a ventriloquist.
The winner was,
Paul Zerden.
Paul, who I've known for years.
Yeah, and very good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
He's very
good, he came here and couldn't make a show work.
Yeah.
As winner of America's Got Talent.
It's tough.
Whereas you, as loser.
It's also tough when you have all the expectations on you. Now, I will say that I come from England, where our whole identity as a country is losing. So,
a little more palatable than here.
I was very surprised that. Well, when I lost, and I went home very happy, I was very surprised at how angry everyone was that I'd lost. They were like, "You should have won that show," and I was like, wait, what? Does it matter? Well, hang on. It matters that I lost?
You did get to shoot Piffles out of a cannon.
I shot Piffles out of a cannon.
Yeah, which turned into a funny result anyway, even outside the act, right?
He's been shot out of a cannon all over the world now.
You think that you actually abused a dog or something? Wasn't there some...
We've had many complaints that people have said there's nothing funny about shooting a dog out of a cannon. And I would beg to differ. Even saying that sounds hilarious. We have people say, I mean, I don't know how
the dog's
you watch
real,
it.
But the cannon's fake.
No, people just constantly say, well, I can't believe you would do that to your dog. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You watched that bit and you really believe that thing shooting out of a cannon is Mr. That lifeless
People
projectile.
believe you do anything to Mr. Piffles. I remember one time when the year that you shaved my head for the Baldricks, I think it was the same year. We were waiting for we're at Valet at New York, waiting for our cars to come out. And you were just there. You didn't have Mr. Piffles, and you were in your costume. And somebody came up and said, "Hey!" and they'd get a selfie and do the whole thing. Where's Mr. Piffles? And he just said very casually, "He's in the glove compartment."
Yeah, he's in
And,
it.
yeah, and
He's in the glove box,
the
yeah.
look on her face was like, oh. And I'm
I
like,
just
oh,
think
Jesus.
that's what I
They
really think.
she believes that you would do that.
People think that we do that, and it's just like, first of all, he'll be 13 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And
November, right?
In November,
Mhm.
November 13th, he'll be 13, and he gets to spend more time with me than most pets get to spend with their owners. There's nobody has taken more care of than Mr. Piffles. Certainly not me. He's the money, you know. He's the talent, and I don't think you could find many more well cared for creatures.
I don't doubt that, really. And I've just imagined.
It's also really funny to me that he does nothing. You know,
Really,
at the
he does
beginning,
nothing.
we had this bit where he would like high five me for a trick, and he would do it like 95% of the time. But when we're doing as many shows as we do, that means 1 in 20 shows he doesn't do it, and I didn't want to be up there shouting at a dog. So I was like, okay, well, let's just, the rule is he does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's even funnier, and that's turned out to be the real gold of it all.
Do you still have the high five bit in, and he just doesn't do it, or did you take that
No,
out?
we took it out.
Okay.
We took it out.
And I have this feeling, you know, like they have the Blue Man camp. The Blue Man group has the Blue Men that are training to be the Blue
Right.
Men. There's a camp for the next Mr.
There
Piffles
is,
out there.
and that's going to be interesting what we do with that.
I want to see this footage.
He has a brother from another mother who looks almost identical. You really can't tell them apart. But Piffles has always been great on stage. He's always gone to sleep. I mean, I toured with Mumford & Sons, and we were playing 20,000 to 20,000 people in an arena.
You're opening for them, right?
And he was snoring in his case. I would put the microphone down, and a dog would snore for 20,000 people.
It was just with Mumford & Sons, though, because of Mumford & Sons.
Well, no, it was it was during my act, unfortunately. He woke up for the band. Whereas we have another dog who he's very relaxed off stage, and you put him in front of lights, and he's clearly like, oh, what's going on? So it's all right. You don't have to be on stage, and you can just be in charge of morale, because he's the happiest little dog I've ever seen. So he's in charge of morale, but he's not going to make it in show business. So we'll find a dog, but I don't think we're going to try and pretend.
Yeah.
Or if we
probably
do
not.
try and pretend, it'll be a totally different dog, and I'll be trying to like hilariously
Bring a pit
pass it
bull out
off.
here.
What do you mean it's different? It's the same dog. Take down the
A
posters.
giant, like
Yeah.
a pit bull with the same
Yeah,
outfit on.
he's just closer.
It's the lighting in this
It's the
showroom.
lighting.
Like they do in the Legend
Yeah,
show.
it's the time difference. He's on East Coast time.
You need a Piffles in the Legend show.
Oh yeah,
You
that would
need
be
to
great,
get
wouldn't it?
that going.
Get one over there.
Get like a
Well, we
German
have the
Shepherd
puppet
out there.
We got the puppet now.
Oh
That
yeah,
looks-
what happened with him?
He's I mean,
He's in your.
pandemic happened. We had to stop doing shows, Johnny.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
but
happened.
he's still in development. He's still online.
Oh
right?
yeah,
You still
and he'll
use
be in
him.
this
Mhm.
show too.
Is he?
He's got
Okay.
a big.
You know, Fader
big
responded to you with his puppets.
He's
when he
great.
heard that
I
you were
lo-
using him
I
as a
love him.
puppet.
I love.
He
Terry.
wished you well. He had, I forget.
Yeah,
you know,
he always does.
Maynard.
He's a great example of one of the entertainers in town. Who, you know, Copperfield, Penn and Teller, Matt King, Lance. These people have just like welcomed me into the community, and Terry's been great too.
They're all, those we've mentioned are very secure in what they do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Exactly.
you know, they don't have and Penn especially, I take his lead on a lot of things I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And when he gave his endorsement years ago of you, I said, I'm in, you know, regardless of, I don't even need to see anything else. You're going to have guest stars in your show
Yes.
here, right?
Yeah.
Is he going to be one? Penn?
That's up to him. It's up to all of these. We'll ask everyone, and it's up to. We will ask them. We will then tell them what we're doing in terms of the protocol, and then it becomes up to them whether they want to.
And it'll be
join in or not.
their appearance, their cameo will be tailored to what they do, or are you going to have a set bit?
Again, that's up to them. They can come and do a bit, or they can just come and say hi. I mean, I imagine unless you're going to do your famous shower routine with the car wash.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to open with?
Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
was in
Soap yourself up.
53X.
Yeah,
I did
great.
that show over
Great.
at Paris.
I mean, that
Remember
fingers.
that?
That's
Yeah.
we had our fingers
Mhm.
crossed.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
did it in Chippendales, but it was the same night that Vinny was in the show, and we were in the shower at the same time.
Oh,
And he's the stunt.
well, we
cast
have the
guy, so,
costume ready for you.
Yeah. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
And
yeah.
instead
I'll bring
of
my own dog.
bath oil, it's hand sanitizer.
Okay.
So it's
Just hand.
just hand sanitizer.
Okay. All right.
We had to make
I
a
need to
couple
know
of
this.
changes for the COVID.
You know, I'll
time.
do it.
Great.
I mean,
But yeah,
I
we're
don't have anything to
the
lose.
same to people. If you want to do your act, great. And if not, you can be part of this thing that we're doing. So
Cool. And you guys are one of the first shows to come back.
yeah,
And you know,
I think we're the first headliner to come back.
you know, individual headliner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, what do you think about that? You're in a unique position here in a
Certainly,
unique time in our history.
I'm getting
Piff
lots
is
of
getting to be
right. I'm getting lots of messages from my friends being like, "Well, I'm glad it's you, not me. And, you know, you're a pioneer." And I'm like, "Oh dear, I don't think it worked out well for all the pioneers, did it?"
in every
But
case.
but I actually think, you know, I've got a really good feeling about what we're doing. I'm really excited to be in this room, part of the history of this room, and parts of the Flamingo. You know,
Right.
like it's been like a family to me over the last 5 years, and I can't really think of a better place to be doing this.
Yeah, it's appropriate, I think.
I
You
think
know,
so,
I mean,
yeah.
I think there's in the other shows that are rolling out earlier too, are in their own way appropriate to
Right. I
give
mean,
this
we're
a
lucky
run.
with very low overhead. It's me, you know, it's like very minimal people on stage, and we're kind of in a good place like that. I mean, I don't know how you bring back a show like Car or O during this time. So and that's going to be a really difficult journey. So, but it has to start somewhere. And
Yeah.
I think if it starts, you know, if we start it, then why not?
Yeah, we have this one of the conversations I keep having too, and that I'm involved in is the city going to reclaim or return to the entertainment capital of the world
Right.
image and all that?
Right.
And my answer is usually, if you can get entertainment in Las Vegas, you can't get anywhere else. It will.
Right.
Whether the scale, it doesn't have to be Cirque right away, but it should be something that you can't see anywhere else.
I think
And
that's
this is your
that's a really good point as well,
headliner
because
show.
for Magic, and you can see this in Penn and Teller and Copperfield, for Magic it's very difficult to develop the material, and it's even more difficult. And you also develop it in front of an audience. It's the same
Yeah.
as comedy like that. It's not quite, you know, if you're writing a play, you write the play and you put it on, and if the audience don't go for it, well, there's no rewrite. You know,
There, yeah. You get a verdict
Shakespeare's not
really
up
quick.
there doing tryout nights.
You get a verdict really quick. in
Yeah.
other words,
So whereas what we do, it's like we do sort of tweak it as we go, and to have a fixed space where we can hone the material in front of an audience is something that Vegas offers that I don't think there's anywhere else in the world that does. And I've certainly benefited a lot from it. And Penn and Teller having to do 14 brand new bits every year for Flawless.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they would do that unless they were here.
Yeah, that's right. It's the live entertainment capital of the world. I think
Yeah.
that the word live has to be
Yeah.
reinstalled in that, because you can do Zoom everywhere.
You can do Zoom everywhere.
We've got the
We literally
architecture.
are. We literally are doing it from everywhere.
Yeah.
But this is, if you want to see the best possible version of my show, the only place you can see it is the Flamingo Showroom, because when we go out on tour, we can't rip the stuff off the floor and build all this stuff. So it's really exciting to finally be able to bring that world to life that we've been working on all these years.
Right on. Well, I'll be here the 29th.
29th.
You're going to do a show before that for the
We are.
frontline workers on
Yes,
the 27th.
we're doing a show for the first responders because I think you thought you felt this too, but you and I did an event for the first responders. For the people on the health and the medical side of it, spreading the
healthcare
word
professionals.
about masks.
Mask Up NV.
And
Hashtag Mask Up.
like all of this
Mask Up
press
NV.
stuff, it's easy. It's really not difficult. It's just like, can you wake up a bit early and turn up somewhere? Yeah, no problem. And so I did very little to be a part of that, and meeting the people who were there and seeing what they're up against and seeing how they're literally risking their lives every day on the front line. I was like, oh, and then they were so grateful to you and I for being there. And I was like, guys, I just woke up a bit early. This is not a big deal.
They were just in.
Yeah.
It was so evident that they had just come from their shift.
Right.
And were going back into their shift.
And
That's
they'd
the thing.
seen some nasty
Yeah,
things.
it was sunrise where
So-
we started this thing.
So we just thought if we can just do even a tiniest thing to bring a bit of happiness to those workers, and And we've got the police and fire and all of the first responders. Anything we can do just to say thank you and to make a few of them laugh.
Pop-up performances.
Even give them something new to complain about. God.
I can't believe they sent the dragon to us.
Yeah, I mean, the dog is a talent, but really, I don't know why he has the dragon around.
On the 13th. We should do something for him on the 13th.
We should.
There should be a special performance.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone keeps forgetting everything this year. November 13th, that we will do it.
Was that a Friday? We don't know that yet.
I don't know.
We'll have to look that up. But, yeah, we should do something with him.
Yeah. 13 on the 13th.
Right on. All right, sir. Well,
thank you, Johnny.
It's a pleasure to spend time with you, as always. We'll see you in
you.
a couple weeks when this is all up and running.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out.
I look forward to it.
All right on. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.